Hey everyone, it's Rebecca from devourdinner.com and welcome to my kitchen. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome. Today I'm doing a quick, fast, and short live for all of you who just got a new Instapot or pressure cooker for Christmas and you're sitting at home going, what do I do? Well, I'm going to help you. We're going to go through a quick water test. We're going to talk about all the jargon and funny words that everybody uses and abbreviations so that you can get started on your first recipe quickly. All right. As you join in, please say hello. I want to see who's here, where you're from. I'm going to put in the comments here a link for you guys to check out as well. There we go. Oh, let's get this out of the way. Okay. All right. I see a bunch of you on. I don't see any comments yet. There they come. Hello. Preston from Canada, welcome. Mara, Merry Christmas to you. Hello, Amy. Hello, Karen. Joanne, Kari, Lori, Heather, Teresa, Kathy, Lizzie, Preston. Wow. Okay, Preston, I love it. You're just unboxing your new pressure cooker. Fabulous. Get it out, get it plugged in, and follow along, okay? What we're going to do today for all of you, welcome. You guys are fabulous. I love it. Now, if any of you are my regular followers, I will be going live again in about 30 minutes where I will be doing a recipe step by step as well. For all of you newcomers, I'm Rebecca from devourdinner.com, and I go live every Sunday with a new recipe, and I teach you tips and tricks on how to do things so you can be successful at home. This is a safe environment to ask questions. There is no silly question. I love to welcome all of you newcomers because we were all there once too, and I have a fabulous team of my top fans as well as some admins from some very popular groups that help and answer questions in the comments as well. So with that said, let's kind of get into this. You guys are fabulous. Oh my gosh. Hi, Susan, Sandra, Samantha, Holly, Ann, Kathy, Mara, Jules. Welcome, welcome. Please give this video a thumbs up. Give it a heart over in the comment section. It really does help me out. It's something simple that you can do to help someone like me who is a small business by giving it a thumbs up, a heart, and even sharing the content. But let's get into this. You just got your new pressure cooker. It looks something like this, right? Look what I've even got for you guys today. Side by side, right there. So you can see the control panel of what we're doing today. We're going to start with a water test. Now, what is a water test and why do we have to do a water test? We would assume that our new pressure cooker comes to us perfect and ready to go, right? Like we don't have to test things out. Well, that's true, but we want to make sure that everything is functioning properly before we put food in here, right? So we're going to do this quick little test, and it's simple. For those of you following along, get your pressure cooker plugged in, and we're going to add about 2 cups of water. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just add the water. Now, this can be cold water. Again, whenever a recipe calls for a liquid, a thin liquid, it's talking about water or chicken broth. We need a thin liquid to pressure up, to create steam inside of our pot. Thick liquids like a barbecue sauce or a thick salad dressing don't create steam easily. So when we talk about a thin liquid, we're talking about a water or a broth, chicken, vegetable, beef. Even people have used alcohol, wines, soda pop. Any of those are thin liquid, okay? So tip number 1, we're gonna put it in the pot and we're gonna close the pot. When you close it, you're going to hear that little magical noise. Hear that? That means it is in a locked position. In the back, we have this little knob. Hold on a second here. We're gonna do something. Got another lid for you. We are gonna flip this lid. This lid is wobbly. In fact, it pulls right off. That's normal. You're gonna push it to the back, the locked position, okay? With that in the locked position, it's really simple at this point. We are going to set our pressure cooker for 2 minutes. That's it. All right, so how do you do that? Now, on most pressure cookers, depending upon if you have an older model or a newer model, or maybe you don't have the Instapot brand, but you have a Milthy or a Ninja, it might say something a little different, but we're looking for the pressure cook button. So in this case, the pressure cook button is right here in the lower corner. All right, it might be placed differently on yours because every model is just a little bit different. We're going to press pressure cook, and then we're going to use the plus and the minus keys. In this case, the last time this pressure cooker was used, we set it for 45 minutes, which is way too much. So I'm going to hold down that negative sign till we get it to where we want. Where are we going here? Let's clear this off. This is going to take a minute, friends. Okay, too funny. I don't know where it went, but it went clear up to 3 hours now. So we're just going to hold this until we get to where we need, because we've got to get it down to 2 minutes, okay? You can hold it or you can press it a bunch of times. In this case, I don't want to press it a bunch of times, so we're just going to hold it, and we'll be there shortly. Fortunately, I have my screen over here so I can watch it. All right, we're getting close. Here we go. If you go too far, use the plus key and push it up. Then what you're going to hear is some beeps. Here it comes. The beeps are going to tell us, there it is. The beeps are going to tell us that your pressure cooker has accepted the readings and it's going to start doing exactly what you told it to do. So in this case, we used the pressure cook button, and the pressure cook button is kind of the general button that you can push for everything. It doesn't have a preset to it. These other buttons have presets to them. So like you'll have a rice setting or a meat setting or a poultry setting or a yogurt setting. Those are preset. And we'll talk about those more in just a minute. So now we notice it says on. All right, now we leave it alone. But what's happening inside? Inside, the bottom heating element is heating up to boil that water or that thin liquid that's inside to create steam. As the steam generates, we'll start to see a little bit of steam coming out the top of our pot. That's normal until it seals. Then, on your lid, you have a nice little pin. This pin will come up flush on the Instapot. On the Milthy multi-pot, it comes up above. I'm not sure where it comes on the Ninja or other brands, but that pin will raise. When that pin raises, it means it's now under pressure. Within about a minute, your front reading will change to whatever you set it to. So in this case, it will change to 2 minutes. Then those 2 minutes are going to start to count down in time while it's cooking. It's as simple as that. The reason that we do a water test, we want to make sure that everything is okay the first time we get our pressure cooker out of the box before we start cooking with it. So if there's any problems, you don't have food that you've spent money on and a big mess. So we're just going to test it with water. And then after that, we're good. You don't have to keep doing the water test each time. Easy enough? Okay, I'm getting all these notifications with questions, and I want to answer as many as we can. Heather says, thank you for doing this. Heather, welcome. All of you who are brand new, welcome. This is a place that you can learn with your new pressure cookers. I typically go live at 3 p.m. on Sundays, Mountain Standard Time. I will be going live in about another 20 minutes with our recipe today. So this is going to be fast. Okay, let's see here. You guys are fabulous. Sarah says, I already made black-eyed peas. You guys are fabulous. Okay, I do want to welcome both Amy from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group, as well as Gail from the Instapot 101 family group. These are two excellent groups that if you're new, you might want to join and be a part of. They really moderate and watch their groups for great recipes that you can follow and that are tried, tested, and true. and I appreciate their support. So thank you so much, Gail and Amy. I appreciate that. Okay, Teresa, you just made my heart jump. Teresa says, replying to Sarah, you were in the right place. You will love it once you have used it a couple of times. Don't give up before you've started. Okay, Sarah, I don't know where your comment is and I don't know what you said, but listen, you really are in the right place. I love to teach and I love to help you along and answer questions. And I have a fabulous group of top fans as well as the moderators from these two groups that I just acknowledged that help answer questions along the way. My husband is in the wings. He reads through the comments and tries to funnel me comments that I might miss as well. We're here to teach you so that you can use your pressure cooker and love it just like I do. All right, you guys, let's talk about some other things with our pressure cooker, okay? Now, someone may be asking the question, well, why does it take so long to come to pressure, right? Great question. Every recipe will come to pressure at different intervals of time based upon how much and what is in it. For instance, if I put frozen chicken breasts in with water, it's going to take longer to pressure up than it would if those chicken breasts were raw. It's just what it is, right? Now, here's the cool part about it. You might ask yourself the question, well, do I have to adjust the time of the recipe? The recipe says to cook for this long. What do I do if it's frozen or thawed? Guess what? Those who develop recipes, just like I do, we take into consideration the time it takes to pressure up. So if it takes 5 or 8 or 9 minutes to pressure up because whatever's inside is frozen, everything in there is already starting to cook. Those additional minutes are adding to the cooking process because it's frozen, and you don't have to adjust the time on the recipe. Sweet, huh? It's really nice. So a water test will take a couple of minutes because there's nothing in the pot. It has to create steam and build steam for the entire size pot. So if you have a 3-quart, that's smaller. It'll come to pressure quicker. But maybe you have an 8-quart and that's bigger. It will take a little bit longer. Also, you might want to note if you have an 8-quart pressure cooker, many of the recipes are designed for a 6-quart. And they work really well in an 8-quart. However, if you're cooking, you need to make sure you have at least a cup and a half of thin liquid. A cup in an 8-quart is not quite enough to build up that pressure, and you need to add a little bit more thin liquid. So that's the only adjusting you'll have to do on that. Okay, you guys have great comments here. Now, I want to show you something because this is a big deal. This is a pressure cooker lid, and this is a ring. This is your silicone ring or your gasket. It is super important that you take this out and you wash it every single time that you cook with your pressure cooker. Many of you are gasping right now going, oh my gosh, really? Yes, really. Let's think about it. When you cook, all that pressure of everything inside is up in here and gets caught behind it. That will start to grow mold and mildew and yucky stuff. And if you use the lid again on another recipe, you're only transferring all of that bacteria to another recipe. Don't get yourself sick or your family sick. Make sure you wash and clean your gasket. The gasket can be washed on the top shelf of your dishwasher. I personally, under hot water with a scrubby brush and dish soap, scrub it out, and then I'll throw it in the dishwasher. The rings come in multiple colors. Yours is probably a clear silicone. This one is obviously red. I have blue ones as well. And I try to keep them separate for different foods, whether it's sweet or savory. But otherwise, the color means nothing, okay? Color means nothing, you guys. It doesn't matter what color your ring is. But let's put one in and take it out a few times because it's super important. If your ring isn't sealed up good, you're going to have a problem. So now, you're not going to see this real great, but I'm going to go right in front here, and I want to show you. You're initially going to put the ring right on your lid, okay? And then you're going to tuck it behind this metal ring, okay? Right inside this metal ring, you're going to start tucking it. Just like that. And you're going to work your way around the edges, all the way around the edges, till you get back to where you started. And you're going to make sure, I always go around twice, okay? And then you're going to make sure by looking at it. This one I didn't get sealed all the way down in, so that's super important to push it further so you have the equal amounts of the silicone ring on both sides of that metal ring inside. That's how you know that your gasket is seated properly, okay? If it's not, your pressure cooker will not come to pressure correctly. You will have problems. Many people are afraid of this. Please don't be. I have many videos where I'm showing this over and over. And in the coming weeks, you'll see me doing it more and more on my lives because there's so many of you who are new. And I love making sure you guys know what to do. So to take it out, super simple. I grab with 2 fingers. I just grab with 2 fingers right there, and I pinch it and I pull. See how easy that is? And I pull it out. Then I can wash it. The lid itself, I take a scrubby with dish soap and I scrub and scrub all around it. The lid can also go in your dishwasher. It can go on the bottom rack. I personally hand wash it, rinse it off, and let it sit in the dish strainer is what I do. Remember, your valve over here is wobbly. It will fall off. And guess where it typically lands? Do you guys know? The garbage disposal. And you won't notice it. And you'll turn on your garbage disposal and you'll chew this up. Be very careful, okay? But it just pushes on and off. All right. You guys heard the beep? The beep means that our 2 minutes is done. You can see on the front panel, it reads 0, okay? On recipes, you're going to notice whether a recipe calls for a QR or a quick release or an NPR, which is a natural pressure release. So there's 2 different kinds of releases. A quick release is when we open up the pressure valve, we let the steam shoot up to the ceiling and release the pressure quickly. Or we do what's called a natural pressure release, and we let the pressure release naturally over time, which means we do nothing. We sit back and we wait. And as you see right here how it says 1, it means that this has been natural pressure releasing for 1 minute. So as we cook, the countdown goes down in time. When it's releasing the pressure, it goes up in time. Very important to remember, all right? Now, there was a question, Bill.
Somebody just mentioned that their pin doesn't follow in the allotted time. What do they do? Let's press that down manually.
Okay, there was a question about the pin not dropping. The pin in the back that comes up for pressure, that will drop on its own. You never want to force that because that's a safety mechanism. Now, it could be that your pin is maybe dirty or sticky because that is a possibility. So you're going to want to make sure when you wash your lid, you're washing it to maybe get out any debris that's stuck in there. You could also try jiggling the top of your lid, but you never want to force it open and you never want to push that button down to release the steam that way, okay? Because that's a safety mechanism. Now, how do we release the pressure? I'm going to show you. This is something that most people are terrified from. And I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't blame you. The first thing, make sure your pressure cooker is away from your cabinets and isn't going to shoot up on a light fixture because it just makes them messy, all right? Then you're going to want to get a spoon, spatula. If your pressure cooker came with this ladle, this works wonders. This little keyhole right here is perfect for the little tab on that pressure valve to push and open and close it. It's that simple. So you can stand back and you can just open it up and that pressure is going to steam off. I'm going to move this a little bit so it's away from the computer. It will take a few minutes for that steam and the pressure to release and that pin will drop, and then we'll be able to open up our lid. And that is the water test, you guys. How simple is that? Now, I dropped in the comments in the beginning, I'm going to drop again, a link to a post that I made with Jargon. It talks about what is an NPR, what is a QR, what are the words that we're talking about when we're using a pressure cooker. What does pot in pot mean? It can be so overwhelming, you guys. Like, honestly, true story. My first pressure cooker my husband bought me, I used it 3 times. I was furious, and I sent it back. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And it was about a year later before I ordered another one and tried again. Thankfully, I had found groups such as this, and I could learn from people who helped me step by step, which is why it's so important to me to help you guys step by step get over these fears and try. Because I was right there with you. Seriously, I wouldn't open the pressure valve. Food I was putting in wasn't coming out correctly. And that was hard. And I don't want you guys to go through all of those headaches. Okay, the pin just dropped, which allows us to open it up and remove the lid. Now this is still very hot. You can probably see the steam coming up. But a fun fact for you guys who are new, this little corner wedge that's on the top and the bottom of the lid fit magically in the handles of your pressure cooker. Fun fact. Now what's even cooler is the condensation from inside of the lid will run down to the lip of your pressure cooker and collect in the little plastic container that fits in the back. So it's super, super handy, okay? That's a great place to store your hot lid because it is hot, so you can still do whatever else you need to do for your recipes. Amy says, excellent tip. Liz says, Missouri checking in. Preston says, okay, I'm confused on the pin. Preston, I need more information there, friend. Tell me what you're confused about. So the pin is, let me go side by side. So this is the pin right here. This pin, when the pressure gets lifted up and it's flush to the top. So that's the pin that I'm talking about. This is the pressure valve. When you push it back, it's in the closed or locked position. And when you push it forward, that's when it releases the pressure. So hopefully that answered that question, Preston. I'm sure your pressure cooker's a little bit behind because I know you're doing with this step by step. Peggy says I hit across the room when I did the water test. You're hilarious. Okay, what about cleaning by the element? What do you recommend for newbies? Okay, when you say element, so the inner liner pot comes out and you can wash the pot, you wash the lid, you wash the gasket, and then I just use like a sponge. Let's go back. I use like a washcloth with soap or sponge, and I'll clean the front and wipe it to dry it on the front. In this little lip in here, oh, it gets crummy. I don't know how else to say it. It gets crummy. But if you guys know what a craft sponge is, like a 1-inch, it's gray foam and a wooden stick craft sponge, those are fabulous because those will work in around to clean out this tray that gets all crummy and stuff from the overflow of steam. You can also use that same wash rag with soap and then take a knife and run it around to clean it. That's what I do. If you're referring to cleaning the lid, I soap all around these elements right here. I want to clean them out. So I use a scrubby brush and scrub, get all the bubbles, and then I rinse it out. All right, let's put this in one last time so you guys can see it. And I've got to hop off, but I'm going to be coming back live at 3 p.m., which is in 5 minutes, showing you a recipe. And today I'm doing sweet and sour chicken, and it's going to be fabulous. Okay, here we go. Just lay it on top. In one area, just tuck it behind that metal ring and then just push. Now you notice I am not using brute force to do it. I'm just pushing it. And then when it gets back to where I started, you do have to push a little bit harder, okay? And then you want to make sure that your silicone ring is evenly balanced all the way around. Simple as it is, you guys. Make sure that you clean your gaskets between each use. Super important, all the way around. You guys have been fabulous. If you're not following my Facebook page, please, please do. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up or a heart over in that comment section, please, please do. It helps me so much. And if you've shared this content, big warm hugs from me to you. I appreciate it so very much. For all of you who are brand new, I hope you'll jump back on my next live, which is going to start in like less than 4 minutes, because it's a whirlwind of fun. And you will learn little more tips and tricks and become more comfortable with what you're doing. Gail says, like her page so you'll get weekly event announcements. Super important to like the page. Preston says, thanks again. Welcome, Preston, and all of the rest of you who are new to pressure cookers. Welcome to the world of pressure cooking. I would love to have you follow me. It's so fun. All of my recipes, I cater towards family recipes, busy families with pantry items, recipe and ingredients that you have in your home. None of these ingredients that are expensive that you use once and never again, or crazy things. Most of my recipes come from my pantry. I started my website because of my boys, and it's our family favorite recipes, and I hope you'll continue joining me. All right, you guys, I'm gonna pop off because I'll be right back on. We'll see you in about 3 minutes. Bye.